We're joined now by Drew Edwards from UTSports.com, Tim Priest from the Vol Network, and Tennessee defensive coordinator Justin Wilcox. First of all, congratulations, Coach, on the win.
Appreciate it. It was a good one for us. Anytime you get a win to start the season off, that's a good thing.
You played a lot of young kids, though, didn't you?
We did, and I think they responded pretty well in their first game in Neyland Stadium, and some of those guys have played a little bit for us last year, but it was definitely a learning experience after watching the tape. I got a chance to peek at it, and there's a lot to learn from just in that first game.
What are some of the things that you'll look for in this film? Because you guys did play a bunch of guys. I think 4 true freshmen played for you guys on defense. What are some of the things you're going to be looking at to evaluate from this film?
Really just our alignment, our technique, and how we executed and who produced. Like you said, a lot of guys played, and that's a good thing for us. But at the end of the day, it's going to be about production and who can go out there, and when the game's on the line, who are we going to count on.
From what you saw last night, if you had to sit here right now and say, where do you need to work the most?
Well, how long you got? I think there were some really good things that we did at all levels, D-line, linebackers, and the secondary, but there's a laundry list of things that we have to improve upon. And there's got to be a sense of urgency when we practice, because those things, as we go throughout the season, will get exposed if we don't fix them.
Justin, I guess with so many young guys you brought along, there aren't many teams in the country playing 2 true freshman linebackers and a cornerback who's a true freshman. Are you surprised how quickly those guys picked all of this up?
Not really. I think their makeup is such that they weren't intimidated at all by being out there. They throughout fall camp picked things up at a quick pace. That doesn't mean they didn't make a lot of mistakes tonight, but they were comfortable enough to go out there and play fast, which is good. Now what we got to do is cut down the repetitive mistakes so they don't make the same ones over and over, and I expect all those guys to do that.
One guy you have back there that had at least one tough play, Justin Coleman, having many years ago been in the secondary, he's got to have a short memory, really, doesn't he?
Absolutely, and that's one thing that we have always liked about Justin is his competitive character, and he'll bounce back from that, and I would think that he'll learn from that one, because that was a tough play for him, but we expect him to learn from that and move on, and I think his mindset will be the same.
One of the guys that has been in the program for a while, but a guy that you really haven't seen play until last night was Ben Martin. What did you get from him, and what do you like about him on the defensive line for you?
Well, Ben, first of all, just him being in our program and on our D-line, it really brings a calming effect, because he's been in the fire and he knows what it takes. Obviously, having 2 pretty significant injuries to come back from, it says a lot about him as a person. And so we're excited to have him back, and we're going to get as much out of him as we can, and we just got to manage him the right way as he's coming off those 2 injuries.
Coach, talk a little bit about going up against Tyler Bray and these wide receivers every day in practice. That's got to make your secondary better.
Absolutely. I mean, those guys, obviously the 2 wideouts and even the slot guys, some of these new slot guys that we're getting work on are very good players. They're still young in their development as well, so I'm sure Coach Baggett and Coach Chaney will say they make their fair share of mistakes, but they're tough to cover, and very tough to cover one-on-one. So, and obviously Tyler can make a lot of throws, and I think you saw tonight that the different type of throws he can make. He threw it down the field, he threw it short, and they caught the ball and did something with it. So it's great for us.
Justin, one of the really big plays of the ball game tonight was Art Evans' interception, jumping that swing route that had been hurting Tennessee early in the game. How about that play?
That was a great play by Art. They've been running a little bubble screen, and we were a little bit slow reacting on it early on. I think a little bit was guys not quite sure, had seen it the first time, and they threw it a few times, and Art got a chance to see it, and next time they ran the little motion, they threw the bubble, and he jumped it like he should in that coverage and made a play on it. That was a great play by Art.
Coach, can you talk about just being here? It's your second year here, and every year you're getting to know a little bit of personnel, whether it's in spring ball or fall camp with the new guys coming in. But this year, fewer guys to get to know. Just talk about that second year and the continuity for you guys and really the entire staff.
Well, I think it helps everybody. I mean, it helps our staff chemistry, because we're talking the same language all the time. Our players have heard the language. They know the expectations of not only what we're trying to do on defense, but just how we prepare, how we meet, how we practice, all those things. So it's definitely a little bit, the comfort level is there. Now we just got to improve on what we're doing as a football team.
We mentioned like your dad was a great NFL player, and of course you've been around football all your life. Does your dad still call you after the game and kind of critique you a little bit?
Absolutely, he knows better than that.
But do you talk football with him?
Not usually. He's more interested in things besides football. We never really had that the football relationship. I mean, it
really
just wasn't that way. No.
So I mean, he didn't. I guess growing up, did you guys watch football games?
He
together
thinks
and
we
all that
make it
stuff?
really complicated. You know, at the end of the day, it's don't let that guy go this way. I mean, how hard is it? You know, so we don't really get into that much. But obviously, you know, he had a great career and all that. But in terms of the football talk, they're very little.
His dad's an old timer. I know that feeling. So it's so much more complicated now. We can't really talk specifics with you because we don't know what you're doing.
Well, but it's all the same. It really comes on defense. It comes down to fundamentals and tackling, and there's different things that people are doing now. But at the end of the day, it's really the same.
Facing different offenses, you guys got to do different things schematically every week too, and that would make teaching to be a challenge for you guys at times too, I would think.
Yeah, and again, for us, we're always going to kind of ride the line on, you know, you never want to not have an answer. So we got to have enough in our arsenal that we can stop whatever they're showing us, but at the same time, not too much where our players are thinking too much, you know, and not playing fast. So a lot of teaching for us is the same as, you know, we're trying to have concepts that carry over, and that's what's really important.
The best thing, I guess, though, about the win over Montana is the fact now you got a game on film. You can really start teaching these guys, hey, this is what we're talking about.
Absolutely, and sometimes, obviously, meeting rooms is one thing, practice is another, but game experience, there's no substitute for that. So I would expect a lot of these guys, you know, they need to feel good about the win, but they also, you know, those meetings won't be all pats on the back. I can guarantee you that.
Terrific. Justin, listen, thanks for coming in. We appreciate it. Congratulations again on the win, and good luck next week against the Bearcats.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Justin Wilcox with us, Tennessee defensive coordinator. When we come back, we'll preview the Tennessee-Cincinnati game here on the Derek Dooley Show.